Sexual abuse will remain the safest crime to commit because people know that it is most likely going to go unreported. We at Edcon take sexual harassment seriously and recognize it as being a problem that is very real.
Sexual harassment is any unwelcomed conduct which is sexual in nature.
Physical or sexual remarks or comments or gestures that one would pass in the workplace to another colleague.
Receive unwelcome attention from a colleague of a sexual nature, regardless of gender.
Unwanted jokes, unwanted looks.
Anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, be it touching.
And puts you in a compromising position where you feel your values or your dignity is being compromised.
That leaves the other individual feeling disempowered, humiliated or embarrassed.
I've witnessed some few cases where people are scared to report sexual harassment because they're scared to be fired.
You can't treat it lightly.
Just because there aren't bruises doesn't mean that someone hasn't been hurt.
So definitely something that would have to be reported and that would have to be taken seriously.
Sexual harassment is a form of unfair discrimination, and it's a serious misconduct. Sexual harassment is unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature that violates the rights of employees and constitutes a barrier to equity in the workplace. It is a form of unfair discrimination that's based on gender, sex, or sexual orientation of the victim. It is serious misconduct, and it may attract penalties as serious as dismissal of the harasser if he or she is found guilty. A person can indicate that sexual attention is unwelcomed by walking away, not responding to remarks or suggestions that were made, or by telling the person that the conduct is offensive and not welcome. Previous consensual sexual relationships does not imply that continued conduct of a sexual nature is welcome. The complainant may ask others to intervene as well, in making it clear that the sexual attention is unwelcome and offensive.
Sexual harassment affects people differently. People don't report it because they have no evidence of what happened to them and think that no one will believe them. They feel responsible because they did not fight the person off or did not feel comfortable to tell a person of authority that he or she must stop. They do not want to relive the incident and let it define them and their future. They just want to put this behind them.
It made me feel uncomfortable, but I also had a lot of stuff running in my head, and I'm thinking, if I say something, then this person will lose their job. And yeah, like it made me feel really bad and uncomfortable, yeah.
Creates a hostile environment and make employees uncomfortable.
Now, you'll remember recently, there's a video that went viral that sparked an outrage among South Africans. And if you remember, that video was between Mampintsha and Babes Wodu. And in this case, what people went and asked was, why did she not leave? They should have been asking the question, why did he not stop?
Sexual attention does not need to be persistent for it to be regarded as sexual harassment. A single incident of sexual attention can be regarded as sexual harassment. Sexual harassment can appear in three forms: physical, verbal, and non-verbal. Physical conduct could be inappropriate fondling,
Inappropriate touching somebody in an unwanted area.
More serious physical contact could include sexual assault.
verbal conduct could be a sex-related joke,
Things that people say to you that will make you uncomfortable.
An unwelcome comments of a sexual nature.
Graphic comments about the person's body.
Comments of a sexual nature.
Sexual related jokes.
At the workplace, there's a line between being professional and being humorous as well, because the lines get crossed a bit there sometimes.
Non-verbal conduct could be, for example, a whistle.
Unwelcome gestures or indecent exposure.
Explicit emails to a colleague.
Sending sexually explicit jokes by email.
It is not a knowledge problem, but rather a behavior problem. We can do the following. We can empower the bystander to stop the harassment and ask the target of the harassment if this behavior is acceptable. We can encourage civility and listen without being dismissive. Teach people what is acceptable behavior and highlight respectful behavior. Reinforce the principles frequently. Discuss related topics like diversity, equality, and leadership, and show the connection. Encourage reporting. If you see something, say something. Promote more women. Encourage gender equality by balancing teams with equal numbers of men and women.
I had a friend who sexually harassed a female staff member.
And I would be completely violated. I wouldn't actually know where to look. And I think at the end of the day you would feel judged because you don't know how the situation became about. Did you do something that led the person to do that to you? So I think sometimes you want to keep quiet because you feel judged at the end of the day. So for me, I think it would be quite a difficult thing to actually come and bring forward.
But I'd then be there to support and help report the case or the incident if the person is unable to or uncomfortable to do so.
We need to do something about it, and I'm happy that the lady spoke about it and the business did something about it, and the guy was dismissed.
We understand that for various reasons, people may not feel comfortable to come forward and report that they've been sexually harassed. Therefore, we would encourage people to take collective responsibility and say something if you see unacceptable behavior that may infringe the rights of a person at work, so that we can create an environment that is free of unfair discrimination. We took steps to reduce sexual harassment by holding our leaders accountable. We implemented training focused on positive behavior. We ensure that there are open communication channels, and we create a culture that is conducive to healthy relationships and a safe environment where incidents can be reported. This is why at Edcon we have put a formal structure in place for people to report incidents of sexual harassment in the workplace. A person can log a complaint through our helpline or by email. We will investigate and we will hold a disciplinary inquiry if we believe that sexual harassment may have taken place. A person who's been found guilty of sexual harassment may very likely be dismissed, and the victim of the harassment may even go as far as laying criminal charges. At Edcon, we wish to grow a culture of respect and equality, so to help keep our workplace a safe and a vibrant space for all employees, please speak out and say something.
So if you see something, say something.
If you see something, say something.
If you see something, say something.
So if you see something, say something. Let us work together and take collective action by reporting incidents of sexual harassment using the hotline telephone number 0800 137 283. Or you can email gender.edconcares@edcon.co.za.